Welcome to this episode of the Smarter Business Podcast, where we seek the advice of business owners to make your business smarter. Today, our guest is Eric Worral. We're going to talk to him about gaining more traction for your videos through organic views on YouTube. If you like what you hear in this episode, please subscribe and share this with your friends. Welcome to the Smarter Business Podcast. My guest this time is Eric Worral of LoCo Ventures. Eric is a video strategist, and I'm going to let Eric do the rest of his intro before I blow this. Eric?
Hey, Neil, how you doing? Good to be here. And yeah, it's funny. Before we got on the call here, Neil's like, "How do you want me to introduce you?" And I'm like, I'm not really sure, but we'll go with LoCo Ventures, video strategist. You know, being transparent. Kind of in some transition right now, like a lot of people are due to the circumstances of 2020. But yeah, I've always been really interested in video, specifically YouTube, and how do you get, organic views? How do you get eyeballs on the content that you're creating on there? And that's kind of where my career is transitioning right now, doing that full time.
That's excellent. Yeah, it is, these are wild times, but you're in a good position to do pretty well with it, given your skill set. So, let's talk a little bit. You've got a whole bunch of YouTube channels that you use as part of your income kind of generation and or your video strategy stuff. So can you give us a taste of a few of what they are and kind of what maybe the strategy is that lies behind them?
Sure. Well, there really wasn't a lot of strategy in the beginning. I've been on YouTube for 8 years. I owned a rental property in North Buffalo. And I think the first thing that kind of got me on it was I just like doing video. I like the creative expression of it, trying to figure things out, how to make things interesting but also informative. I think my niche is kind of educational with a little bit of entertainment if I can throw it in, which, I struggle with at times. But the first video I ever did was how to paint a bathtub, because everything I was going on to YouTube to research this for, and we're going back like 8 years, was just commercial after commercial after commercial. And it was just like, I don't give a crap about, I don't know where you are for swearing with your podcast, but I don't care about, this guy in Baltimore who owns a bathtub painting company and he wants me to do business with him. That's not helpful to me. So what I did is I actually just tried it myself. I did one of those DIY kits from Home Depot. I recorded it and I posted it. And to my surprise, it started getting like thousands of views a month. And I didn't even know you could make money on YouTube. I was just doing it because I thought it was fun. And then one day I came across an article saying like, oh, those ads that play in front of videos, like you can take a cut of those. And I was like, no kidding. So once I, already had a genuine interest in it, but then once I realized you can make money from it, that's kind of where I started taking off with it and making a ton of content.
All right. So the obvious answer is, do those kits work? Because I've been skeptical.
No, I did a follow-up and I was like, one thing you'll realize too is like some of these videos, especially from organic views, have a shelf life because maybe somebody else makes a better video or that topic isn't as, well searched now. So what I did is I did a follow-up video of like a DIY kit versus professional. And cool thing is I had this, video that's pretty valuable. So I found a local guy and I said, hey, I will make a video and I will link to you in the video. Obviously we'll, present your company. So he did the tub glazing, it's called, for free. And then that video, I linked to it using end cards and, whatever it was at that time, the ugly system YouTube had a few years back. But the next video I created ended up getting more views than the last one, because you're kind of thinking of like, what's the searcher's intent, and I knew exactly what it was because it was me. Like I could put myself in those shoes because I was just there. And the things I'd want to know is what's the difference between doing this myself versus having a professional do it? And how does it hold up if I do it myself? So that second video was able to really answer all of those questions in one video. And it didn't hold up well. And the job that guy did was awesome. It was 5 years later, I sold the place and it was still in immaculate condition. So
I had that done to a bathroom surround actually in Baltimore. It's funny that you bring that up when I lived down there.
Maybe subliminally I remembered you're from there,
Yeah. Well, I'm from here and I spent some time down there, but I thought it was the professional one was incredible, right? Like I had mismatched tile in the surround and everything, and they went over it and it looked pretty slick. and I sold it a couple of years later, and it did, yeah, it looked as good as the day they put it in. But that's
Yeah.
not what this podcast is about, I guess, even though
That'd be
that
the
stuff
worst
is cool.
podcast ever. It'd be like the DIY tub surround kit podcast. And you just, hey, this is episode 176.
Yes.
It's
Hey.
still not, doesn't look good.
It's
But well, I can kind of extrapolate a little bit on that. So that's when I got started about 8 years ago. I would say about a year and a half ago is when I really started getting more like strategic on YouTube and like starting to do keyword research, figuring out what people are searching, how to set up a video, how to structure it to keep people on the video. As you know, and a lot of your listeners know, that viewer retention time is probably the most important factor for YouTube serving your video to a wide audience. So the longer you can have somebody on a video for, the better chance that that video is going to be shown to more people on YouTube that are searching for what that content's about. And really trying to figure out, like, being able to put yourself in the shoes of the viewer and what are they searching for, what questions, concerns, all those like things that maybe they didn't actually search, but they're also those kind of related questions that they may have. How can you answer and address all those in a video to keep them on for a long time without boring them, kind of thing. So that's kind of where I've gotten to just learn better and understand those things better over the last year and a half or so.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you did that somewhat by mistake by the sounds of it with the tub surround versus the professional, but that's the kind of thing, yeah, that a potential user is going to be searching for, right? And
Yeah.
that's something that came up in the presentation that you did for our creator network too. The versus, the comparison is that bottom of funnel type of content that people are they're ready to buy and they just want to do a last check, or they're still gathering some information but they have some true buying intent.
Yep.
So yeah, awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit in my notes here. My next thing that we were going to talk about was kind of your career journey. And now I think the first time that I saw your name would have been prior to your time at Off the Sea. If I remember correctly, you were doing some video SEO and you were Emuu Productions, right?
Oh yeah. Very,
And
very clever.
yes, you had a very memorable kind of logo, right? The emu
Yep.
with your
There's a
with
little
your
like
head on it.
cartoon emu
Yep.
with my face on it that, I had somebody create. And it was it was funny. I've had a few people that remember that. So I'm like, maybe I had something with that, but it was more just kind of ridiculous looking. But Emuu, EMW is my actual initials. So W looks like two U's, double U. So that's where I was like, Emuu. Yeah, why not? So that's how you should name your business. Just look at your initials and try to figure out some way that you can make a name out of it.
Yes. Yep, that's it. that works well. But that's what I first remember seeing, and I don't remember where it was, but whatever you were kind of pushing, right? Like you were right at the top of the search results, so you had it figured out fairly well.
Probably,
then,
video production, Buffalo, New York, maybe, or something like that. Yeah,
right.
It's changed a lot since then. Back then, you could really spam it to just be like, here's the right title, here's the right keywords in here, here's a description.
Right,
you
keyword
upload
stuffing.
Yeah, you upload the video and the file name needs to be a certain way and all those types of things, because that's how YouTube was taking its information on what this video is about. And now when you're uploading and you're clicking publish, YouTube knows what that video is about before it even officially publishes. Their algorithms and machines and everything and stuff I don't understand is already going through the video, the images, what's being said, everything, and being able to pull that out and already have a pretty good idea what that video is without even having to look at your descriptions or titles or any of that.
Well, it helps somewhat level the playing field too for higher quality content, right? So it's not about just keyword stuffing or some of the other
I think that's why they went to with the viewer retention, because it hasn't always been that way, that viewer retention was such a huge metric for ranking a video. And the reason being is, like, back in the day, you'd get these stupid like clickbait videos and you'd click on it, and then when you went in, it was something completely different. And then you'd
Right.
kind of the term, at least in regular SEO for websites, is called pogo sticking. So that's
Yeah.
when you hop on a site and hop off real quick. But that was happening a lot on YouTube videos, and they're realizing it wasn't a good experience. So that's when they started kind of focusing on how long people are staying on a video for.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about that, but that used to be a huge problem. I used to
Mhm.
do that myself all the time, where I would think I was going to see, I don't know how to paint a bathtub, but I would get something totally different. So
Yep.
that's interesting. So actually, and that leads very much into the next kind of couple of questions I had. So what are the biggest changes in terms of YouTube SEO from like when you started to what is going on now, do you think?
Well, I'd say kind of what I was mentioning as far as the viewer retention time just being such a key factor, and also the way that some of the some of the features that you can use on YouTube have changed. What you're seeing right now from the people that are doing it really well is they don't end videos anymore. Instead of like that traditional like, all right, here's my call to action, blah blah blah. I hope you guys have a good week. Take care. Like when you talk like that, it kind of makes people feel like they're supposed to stop watching. And when you see the people who do it really well, when it gets to the end of the video, they're like, okay, so that completes this, and we're talking about this, and you're going right in. So maybe it's the bathtub video, but you would say something like, oh, and one thing you should know though is if you are going to use this, you should be aware of the chemicals that are involved. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you about that. So you're kind of creating that hook and that intrigue into the next video. And the reason that's so key is like, going back to the bathtub video. If somebody's searching like DIY bathtub, reviews, and if they watch your first video that was on the bathtub, but then they click through and they watch that second video that's talking about, chemicals you should be aware of and, how to protect yourself. If they watch that first video for 5 minutes and that second video for 3 minutes, you get credit for 8 minutes of viewer retention time for that video view. It's that first video that gets the credit. So that's why that's so important with the way that you want to structure like content on YouTube. And that's why you want to kind of plan out your video a little bit and not just wing it, because you want to be able to push it into the next thing that's going to be on.
Right. I was hoping you'd get into that because that's definitely one of those tricks that I think is not like really widely known. I think people
Yeah.
understand a little bit watch time, dwell time type of situations now because it is, a little more universal with, the same being the case for website SEO and so on. But that whole follow on, kind of link to
Yep.
link type of thing is an interesting, kind of piece of YouTube SEO that I think could really affect the way you're doing things. And that opens us up to a specific project that I think is worth hitting on for that reason. So you did the long form version of a video on ooh, fire. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Financial independence, retire early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The financial video. And how long was that initial video? And then like kind of what did you do that you're trying out now to see if you can get more traction?
Yeah, the initial video, and I'm actually pulling it up on my screen so I can reference it. I think was about 15 minutes long, and then it was kind of a dud. Put a ton of time and effort into it. I don't typically hire an editor for most stuff, but I did for that one. Somebody that I've been working with, but Neil's way better. And the I think what happened is that somebody who's searching that topic, like you want to not only satiate their search intention, what do they make sure that the content you're creating answers their questions well and it's engaging. But when somebody's looking at the options, there's one next to it that's 4 minutes long. Like if it's me, I'm clicking the 4 minute long one. So I think what I did is I kind of scared away a lot of my click-through rate of people seeing the thumbnail is very low. So I only got like a few hundred views, I think 300 after like 6 months. So talking to you and people in the video creators network, decided to chop it up, which was pretty easy to do because I was able to download the video from my own channel. And I found that there was really about 10 videos within that. And from doing that, I'm seeing about 2 or 3 videos that look like they got a good shot of taking off for me about getting more views. Each one of those videos would get way more views than that entire fire video that I did was 15 minutes.
And then when they link on to the next one, you get that extra bump, right? So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. The hope is with that is that the first video I'm looking at is only 1:48, and it says, what is the fire movement? So that's a keyword that gets a good amount of search volume
Sure.
because that's been something that's been trending for about a year or so. And it's really short video. So people might click it, get the answer that they were looking for, but then it's saying, hey, here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. So it's in a playlist, and it's only been since June 19th. So it's only been a couple weeks, but so far, it's promising in the amount of views that some of the videos are getting.
That's excellent. In the other one of your projects I was going to bring up that was a cool concept, and I think I'd, I'd be interested to hear what your kind of how you came up with it. I know you've told me, but tell
Yep.
everybody else. Your mattress in a box review video,
Yep.
right? And something else I noticed by looking at it a few times, and if you want to speak to this, is all the ads that are served at the beginning of those videos are for all these different mattress in a box companies.
Yeah.
So
So if you're trying to make money on YouTube, the type of content you create is going to dictate that quite a bit in a few ways. If advertisers are really heavy on that specific industry or vertical, your average cost per view is going to be a lot higher. So, there might be one. I have a video that I did because the search volume was good, and it was rat versus mouse. Pretty simple video, but I was just curious. Kind of did it more as a test. And what I found is, even though it gets a lot of views, it doesn't make a lot of money. It's like $15 a month. But something like a really highly competitive space, like Best Mattress in a Box or DoorDash versus Uber Eats, or any of these Silicon Valley companies that are just, they have venture capitalist funding, and they're spending money like crazy
right.
to be in front of people.
Mhm.
That drives up the cost of that ad revenue. So you can make a better buck from the ad revenue, but you can also make good money from the affiliate link that you might be providing in that video. And for people that aren't familiar, most people are, but affiliate links basically, like, you watch my mattress box review video, you click one of my links, I'll get like $75 if you purchase that bed through my link, but it's the same price to you. So that's what I found, is you can make better income actually from affiliate marketing on YouTube than you can from AdSense.
Yeah, and there's a couple different ways to go after that, right? Like, a lot of people pick one or the other, but it would appear the most successful kind of YouTubers will have the ads at the beginning of their video, and they'll have those affiliate links in their descriptions and so on.
Yeah, I only have my
So
own experience, but what my experience has been like is that the YouTube AdSense program has been like my base, and then the affiliates are like commission. So if you think of like a high ceiling sales job, you might have like a $30,000 base, and they really want you to go after it with that, making sales and commissions. That's kind of how my channel has turned into it. Is I have a base every month that I could not live on through AdSense. I think my best month, maybe $1,700 on that,
mhm.
which is nice, but it's not, a livable wage. But then with the affiliate income and, creating all these different videos and getting those people to click through, that's where you can kind of ramp that up.
And they made some you're at the mercy of YouTube there, right? Like, didn't they make some pretty significant changes to the way that cash flows within the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago they changed the profit share. I don't know what it was at before. I think now it's like the creator gets 55 and YouTube gets 45. That's
Mhm.
probably not correct, but it's something like that. But I
Sure.
think it was a little bit higher then. But I have found, especially for affiliate marketing too, that's pretty common. So, like, you'll get a new brand that'll launch into the marketplace. They'll give you 10% of all sales. They get a bunch of people to make like content about their brand to raise awareness, and then they cut the affiliate, in half or something like that. So I've
Sure.
seen that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess either way, you're at the mercy of the other folks there.
Yeah.
But
The thing I do
that's
like though about it is, for the most part, like, it's really fair. I think everybody's probably had a class growing up, or went to, or had a job at some point where they're like, this is not fair. I'm busting my butt, and like, it doesn't really matter. There's a ceiling, blah, blah, blah. With YouTube, I think that it is an extremely fair platform for getting views. If you cannot create content that's engaging and people want to watch, and it's for things that people are actually interested in or searching for,
mhm.
you're not going to get views. But if you can, like, you can outrank like the actual brand, like a Casper mattress. If they did a Casper mattress review video and Neil did a Casper mattress review video, if your video is better, they're going to rank it. It doesn't,
Right.
they don't care that Casper's YouTube channel did that video. They're just going to show whatever they think is the best video.
That's a good point. Good point. Yeah. Excellent. Well, that, and that mattress video, we'll link to it because I think it's great. Like you did a lot of research around it and so on. And, it's got a piece of content that kind of lives beyond the video itself, right? The mattress breakdown.
Yeah. What I've found is, there's especially certain niches get pretty crowded. So you want to try to think about how you can do something differently to differentiate your videos from maybe the other 30 or 300 that have been made on that topic. So in that particular one, I worked with a researcher. I'm trying to, I know one of the things with your podcast is how do you do things smarter. I'm trying to delegate and take out some of the tasks that I don't love doing. And in that particular case, I was able to pay a researcher to put together a spreadsheet. And then what I'm able to do is just talk over that spreadsheet and show people how to use it. And it's a really hard decision to make because there's like 100 something brands of online mattresses. And this spreadsheet will break it down to the top 20 and give you a bunch of different filters that you can use. And what I think I'm finding so far, though, is it might be similar to the fire video we were talking about, where the video is a little bit long. So I'm going to do a separate video that I'm going to do much shorter, probably a little less editing, a little less, going into it. But I'm going to see if I can get like a 5-minute video that might be able to take off as well.
Sure. And the other thing that I think we've even had discussions about is you have some other mattress review videos. And if you kind of have shorter versions about specific mattresses that all funnel into that larger, longer form video, I would think that'd be a good tactic too.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you can visualize an octopus, like maybe the body of the octopus is that main pillar video that you have, and then you have all these tentacle ones that are just a little bit shorter, a little bit more long tail keywords or something like that.
Right.
And they all feed into each other. And there's a school of thought that helps ranking too, just by having videos linking to other videos and things of that nature.
Well, that's the way it works in website SEO, right? So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, the reason, I know we're wrapping up soon, but the reason I've done website SEO, I worked with a company called RentPrep and took their site from, I forget what the numbers were. I think it was like getting like 60,000 views a month or visitors, and then took it up to 300,000 visitors a month, all through content marketing. But it's not a very fair space. If you're going to do it, you got to get backlinks. And there's a lot of people doing real dirty black hat stuff, they call it. And you'll see them pop up and then they'll go away a year later because Google will change something. But you see a lot of different websites come in and out. I've seen people like just purchase an entire other website and stitch it into a current website to get a whole backlink profile. And they start like ranking for all these keywords that they shouldn't be. And that's why I like video is like, if you get really good at it, I've seen a few instances where people are gaming it. But for the most part, it's very hard to game YouTube's ranking algorithm because YouTube owns the whole platform. Then they have the algorithm and they know exactly all the data on that platform.
Yeah. And it's even if something goes a little sideways, it's usually pretty temporary, right? So they figure out better ways. They seem to have a little bit of a different mission on YouTube too, right? It's more about user experience, I feel like, than maybe the straight kind of, I don't know. That's maybe not fair. They're trying to do a lot with the website SEO and stuff too. I think they're just maybe more successful.
Well, I think on the website side, of course, they have Google Analytics installed on a plethora of sites. So there is that, but they really don't know 100% what's going on when somebody goes onto that website. So there's different things people can be doing that's going to create a bad experience for the visitor, but Google thinks it's still good. They're getting better about that, but I do think that the space on YouTube is way more fair. And one of the big things I've learned too is that there's a place for both of them. Like I think in the beginning I would make like a video, and really looking at it now, I'm like, why did I ever make that? A blog post is a way better answer for that search query. So trying to figure out, is video a good medium for the thing that you're creating? But the thing I love about it is even if you don't have a channel and you start one, in 6 months, you could be outranking brands for their own keywords. You can be outranking, just about anybody if you can really get the knack for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and you're displaying a lot of your knowledge in this space, and I'm going to use that as a transition to you've been a kind of a pillar of this new program that we're
The
putting out
center of the
through Vidwheel.
octopus.
You're the center of the octopus. Um, for the creator network. The Vidwheel creator network is the new product we're putting out there, and it's kind of the center of that octopus is that community, that network there. And you've been nice enough to be the first one to present at one of our Zoom meetings. That was a very informative and great presentation there. And you always come with a lot of knowledge that's outside of my sphere of knowledge. I know basics of video SEO and website SEO, but you certainly go a lot deeper than anything I have there. So I guess thank you for that. And I don't know, what are your impressions of kind of how you fit into that group? Because the group, for the most part, is a lot of people starting out, but I feel like you bring so much value, and hopefully you get some value from it too.
Yeah. And, there's people in the group who have different skill sets and experiences. And, I know that we got at least one person, maybe two, that are, real good with drones and they're into that. And then you have people that are starting out. You have people like yourself that are experts at production and, that side of things that I get so tripped up on and editing. And, it's a cool group in the diversity of the people that are in it. So I think if you have any interest in getting into video, it's really tough because you're on an island. You're probably doing it by yourself. Sure, you can watch a video of somebody else telling you what to do, or you can read a blog post or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you never get started, it's not going to do you any good. And I think that you and I have both experienced this because we've been behind the camera shooting other people, and you watch people clam up. You watch them get jammed up.
Sure.
They can't even speak. So I think that that's where this group is really great, is it's supporting those people that you have those kind of nerves doing this, and you're kind of worried, and you're like, to have 8-10 other people be like, hey, just do it. You're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And that's another great thing about YouTube. You post it.
Yes.
If it sucks, nobody sees it. I'm not putting it, I don't put any of my content on Facebook or LinkedIn for the most part, because I know people don't want to see it. I'm interested in getting that seen by people who are specifically searching those things that I'm creating that content for. And if it's not good, YouTube will just kind of brush it under the rug.
Yeah, swept under the rug. Nobody ever has to know.
So. Worst case scenario, nobody sees it.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, tons of people see it, and you're impacting people. And I get tons of comments on my videos, and it's really neat because they're all over the place, but being able to help people through problems, help them figure things out, and getting those comments is pretty cool. And just watching the view counts, increase year to year, month to month, and being able to figure this stuff out and move through it has been pretty cool.
That's excellent. Yeah. I'm glad to hear it. So, I hope there should be a lot of future success there, right? That's the other nice thing about it. You've got that nice library built up, and you can just kind of roll
it's
forward,
a snowball.
Right?
It's a snowball going down a hill, and it gets more momentum the more you put into it. And I always like things that have kind of like a residual income to them. And I've definitely experienced that with YouTube, that it just continues, that snowball is getting bigger and bigger as it's heading down the hill. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring it back around here to our main question of the interview, right? And this is the question that ties all these podcasts together. It's called the Smarter Business Podcast. What is one thing that you have done for your own business or a client's business that's made it smarter?
I'd say spend money. I'm a pretty thrifty, frugal person by nature. It's difficult for me to spend money sometimes, but that's something that I've been getting over the last year. So I've been starting to outsource things. I've taken courses. I've bought new equipment. I have, like that mattress video, I had somebody do the research for me, which saved me 5 hours of work that I hate doing. That's nothing new. And I mean, this is all stuff that people have heard before,
Sure.
but sometimes it's hard to take that step to really start kind of treating it more like a business and not just like I DIY everything myself,
Yes.
That's a lesson for burnout if you keep doing that.
That is a hard hump to get over when you start paying for things and are able to trust yourself that you're making the right investments. Like, this
Mhm.
is going to pay off. I know it is, or I'm confident enough that it is that I'm willing to spend
Yeah.
it. It's an important thing to kind of get over, and that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you find the right partner and you can communicate well and create a good system with them is where I found that really helps. Is like it takes a lot of time to get it set up, but then all of a sudden it might be the third, fourth, fifth video or whatever project you're working on. And then it's like, oh, this is like clockwork and this is super nice.
Yeah.
The job I just came from, I had a lot of outsourcers that I worked with and just managed. And it was just kind of like being the conductor instead of playing the instruments. And I think that's kind of something that I've had to learn is like, if you want to grow things and raise your ceiling up, you got to learn to be the conductor instead of the guy playing the instrument.
Well, I mean, people talk about that all the time, right? No matter who you are, you've got the same number of hours in the day. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's learning how to use them as best you can that sometimes is the key to any successful business. I think it's time. I'm going to have to shut it down here, Eric. What we have been doing is we always shook hands back in the studio. But we can either fake shake hands or we'll just wave and say goodbye. So thank you very much for being on. If you have a final thought, I'll give you a moment for that. Otherwise, it was great talking to you. You had a lot of good information there, and
Yeah.
the audience will appreciate it.
I would say the biggest thing is don't doubt yourself on it. Believe you can do it, and know that probably the first video you put out is going to stink, and they get better,
Yes.
and you just keep at it. And again, that residual snowball kind of momentum that you can create with this, and having evergreen content is really cool to see build as you get into it. So
excellent. Yeah, that's a great point to end on. Awesome, Eric. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So that does it for this episode. We'll link to a few of Eric's many YouTube channels in the notes for this show. Thank you for checking us out. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and share this episode with your friends. Thank you.